Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Mornings at the Cabin, indeed. Wheeler and Lekter with you on your Friday morning. Ollie and AJ are off to Enterprise to do some stuff.
Really touch and go on that intro now, eh?
Is it?
Well, I mean, half this week it's been already bright. Today it's kind of dark. You know, Jill doesn't know which way to go.
We're not getting a summer.
Actually, no, Jill does know. We don't know which way to go.
No, we don't know. Because Jill recorded every iteration of that intro. Dark mornings, bright mornings, semi-bright mornings, mornings in hell, mornings at Christmas mornings.
Brighten up those red-hot mornings.
Brighten up your fiery eternal damnation. I can't wait. It is Friday morning. AJ and Ollie are headed to Enterprise, do a little video.
Sarah as well.
And Sarah as well.
Whole crew?
The whole crew. I don't get to do videos anymore. No.
Someone's got to do the morning show.
They stopped asking. Because they'd be like, can you do this video? I'd be like, probably.
No.
And then work's like, no, you can't.
Oh.
Well, it's always the way, man. People are like, I got plans, making plans at that job is really tough. It's like, well, I'm going to go for lunch at 2, and then someone comes in and is like, next back on. I'm like, well, I got to sit down with you then, because this is the only way I make money. But, I wouldn't be able to go to that one anyway, because it's the whole day. You got to drive down to Enterprise, you got to do the video, and then you got to turn around and drive back.
Yeah, they get a long day ahead of them.
They do. That's a 4-hour drive? Enterprise? At least 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then you do the video and you turn back. The best part about this, they get to stop in Providence twice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they get to have one of them burgers, get some gas, maybe have a handful of popcorn, and listen to some Lupe Fiasco, Superstar, featuring Matthew Santos. Just like we are now.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
We are on track to reach Phase 2. Hey, Phase 2, Phase 2, Phase 2. We're on track. June 12th, if all goes to plan, we keep ever vigilant and, rat out people who are doing stupid stuff. Is that what we do?
I'd be interested to know what the actual complaints statistics has been of people calling in,
right?
Tips of people,
I'm sure there's been a bunch.
Doing things they're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
I think before Phase 1, there was a bunch.
There's a bunch.
I can't remember exactly the number, but there was a pretty good number. People were active.
Before the task force was assembled, the task force of extrajudicial people or whatever it was, people were complaining that this is martial law. It wasn't. Before the task force was assembled, there were 180 complaints in the previous week, and most of them were due to parties, people having parties.
Right.
So that's why you kind of had to lock it down.
Right.
There's probably still parties going on. There's still people doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. And no one's wearing a mask anymore. It's like as soon as Phase 1 kind of started and the restrictions loosened, people were like, screw these things, and threw it away. Bye, mask. You ever say goodbye to a mask before?
Yeah, once.
All right. So Phase 2 coming in June 12th. Phase 1 was introduced May 12th. So, this is kind of how it's going to work. Phase 3 will come in July. Phase 4 in August. And if I'm correct, which I'm probably not, Phase 4 means you can leave the territory and come back and only have to self-monitor.
We'll follow up on that.
I think it's that. Pretty sure.
We should look up that chart again.
I'll probably look that up again. But right now we're talking about Phase 2. And this is what we're talking about. So what happens in Phase 2? I'm sure you've listened to Ollie, and Ollie's a much better resource for this stuff. I'm just looking for jokes. Currently, the territory's plan states Phase 2 will allow for bigger gatherings, more sports, and the reopening of some businesses, including dining and restaurants, and the chance for movie theaters to open. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Go see a movie?
Yeah.
Now, there was some post last night. So I think Marie Cordair made a post about how NAC is kind of left out of that, right? Because, she's like, well, theater's open, but I can't open my theater. And the answer that came up was, well, in that theater, people are talking on purpose and singing, right?
Right.
So there's that going on in that theater, right? So in a movie theater, hopefully there's not someone just screaming at the screen, don't go in there!
And if there is,
it doesn't make it any more enjoyable.
No, quite the opposite, in
Absolutely.
fact. Yeah.
So outdoor gatherings of 50 or fewer people will be allowed, up from 25 in Phase 1. That includes public events like community feasts, right? Barbecues, outdoor bingo, and small concerts. Some indoor sports and day program will be allowed with a cap of 25 people. There you go. Outdoor tourism operators can accommodate a maximum of 50 people outside and 25 in vehicles. All right. Movie and other theaters can open with reduced seating. Oh, it says other theaters. Does that include NAC? Possibly. I don't think so, though.
Yeah.
But it says other theaters. I'm not sure what other theaters.
As has been pretty consistently the case through all of this, might need a little more clarification.
Maybe a little bit more clarification.
Yeah.
Dine-in restaurants, including those with bars, can open with limited capacity. Nightclubs will stay closed. That's fair enough. You know, in nightclubs, nothing goes down but, well, fornication.
It defeats the purpose to have social distancing at a nightclub.
Right. Exactly right. It'll be like a junior high dance. The boys on one side, girls on the other. Are we going to dance? Can we touch? Gym classes can return with size limits. Government offices may open with public restrictions. Oh, thank goodness. I was getting very concerned. At first it was small businesses, and I was like, well, small businesses are fine, right? No, they're not. I was really wondering when government employees would get back into the office. It's been too long.
Well, Nicole seems to be getting used to it.
I imagine. I mean, after like 60 days, because she's been off work for at least 2 months.
Pretty much, since it, I can't remember the exact date.
Like March 10th or 11th or something like that is when it all kind of
maybe just after. I think it was the day after we got back from Hay River when we were there for the Polar Pond hockey tournament.
Yeah.
And they got a memo like that morning.
Yeah.
Basically saying,
stay the hell away.
Yeah, not allowed in the building.
Fair enough. Community, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
No, that's it.
Okay. Community and youth centers can be open with a limit of 50 people. Indoor faith gatherings can resume with a maximum of 25 people.
I wonder why that's smaller.
That'll be a cause for some great conversation on Facebook. Common areas of campgrounds can have a maximum of 50 people. Oh, common areas and campgrounds. Okay, does that mean those sharing tents can follow the same rules as their friendship circle?
A 50-person tent?
No, it's their friendship circle. 5.
Oh.
You have your fave 5 in the tent.
Right.
Just remember.
Does our bubble expand to 10 now?
It doesn't say.
No.
But remember, people can hear you in tents. So if you keep that fave 5 in there, just keep it down. And pools can open to train and certify staff. So there you go.
Okay.
Can't open for like a public swim or a family swim, but you can open for swimming lessons, I guess, or lifeguard lessons, and to certify people. So there you go. The travel restrictions, including the requirement that people self-isolate for 14 days after entering the territory, will continue in Phase 2, calling it the single most important task, or risk measure, I should say. So we'll look up a little bit later on. Not right now.
That pool thing would probably be fine with most people if this quote-unquote hot, dry summer we've been predicting would get here.
Well, I mentioned it's going to be dry. Doesn't seem to be
for a couple
hot too
weeks.
Much. Yeah, I'm not sure where the hot thing's coming from. We haven't gone over plus 15 yet.
Yeah,
so
we're 20 this tomorrow, I think.
Oh,
high
what
of
a
20.
bunch of BS.
No, you don't believe it, eh? All right.
No, I'm sure it will. And
those quacks at Environment Canada.
Yeah, that's right. Stop listening to scientists. Follow me on YouTube.
Are meteorologists scientists? Yeah,
I think so. Meteorologists. Yeah,
okay.
Meteorologists are scientists.
Yeah.
Weather people, not necessarily meteorologists.
So, okay.
Could just be that guy.
Oh, now they're saying 19.
Oh, 19. Oh, what a bunch of lies.
And a little bit of cloud in there.
Quit believing the lies that the mainstream media, the Weather Channel, i.e., is trying to push on you. But a lot of weather people are just like that guy who wants you to come down and for a few laughs at the Laugh and Brew for burgers and beers this Friday. I wish we had a spot here. Like a little
we have
hole
a
in the wall
virtual comedy night
tonight.
Happening tonight.
Tonight. It is happening tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Can you still register for that?
I think you can. I think they did say space is limited. I have no idea what it was limited to. No certain terms there. But if you go on Facebook, you go to Absurd Turd Media and click on their page there.
Care of poopybuttfarts.com.
That's right. They got the latest post on there and a link where you can register. So no idea. There's no update if it's like sold out yet. But if you're interested in watching it, click on the link and we'll see what happens.
There you go. It'll be a fun Friday night. If it's going to be rainy and pissy tonight anyway, stay in. See some local comedy.
That's right.
I love it. This morning's show, forgot to mention, brought to you by the NWT Disabilities Council. We're going to have Denise Mckee calling in around 8 o'clock, and we got a little contest for you guys. Lekter and AJ made a little video on our Facebook page announcing 4 questions, and we want you to answer in the comments or by messaging us in the video. They'll give hints. What does this say? People with all... this is written for me, it's not copy, right?
No.
It's not copy.
No,
it's
no.
like,
It's
this is
instructions.
a note to me.
Yes.
So I'm trying to, like, as I'm reading it, make it sound like copy, so I
Give
put it
hints. What?
Give hints. What are you talking about? Go watch the video. Answer the 4 questions in the comments or by messaging us. Should I do the questions right now?
You can throw them out there.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So chance to win some prizes.
Yeah.
First prize is a $500 gift card to a local business of your choice.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing prize.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. Second place, $250 gift certificate, business of your choice, same thing. Third prize, $100 gift certificate to a business of your choice. That's amazing. That's a great prize.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Well, you know what? I won't do it this time. Next break, we'll do the questions.
All right.
And then we'll have Denise on at around 8 o'clock, and we'll talk to her about what's going on with the NWD Disabilities Council and talk to her about how she came up with such a great prize. No one else has done this before.
Cabin Radio's morning show podcast. All the best chat, none of the embarrassing mistakes.
Today's sponsor is the NWT Disabilities Council. We're going to have Denise Mckee on just a little bit to talk about what's going on there and also to go over these questions that we're about to ask you. And did AJ ask the questions in the video?
He does, yeah.
I didn't watch the video.
Well, you can do that.
I don't want to do that.
The Cabin Radio Facebook page.
Everyone else can do it.
Okay. I will caution anyone who is going to watch these questions.
Yeah.
AJ does a great job. Hit it in one take.
Oh, okay. But what are you cautioning them about?
Don't listen to his instructions.
Okay, good. What does he say?
His instructions as to how to submit your answers are unnecessarily confusing. Don't listen to those.
Okay.
Fast forward through his instructions. Go to the questions, answer the questions, and simply send us a Facebook message.
Okay.
Or email to mailbox if you prefer.
Or in the comments?
Or just comment.
Okay.
Yeah. He goes through this whole labyrinth of instructions. It's just not necessary.
Send your answers to 5008 50th Avenue, care of Cabin Radio.
Yeah.
Unit number 6. And send it before midnight Eastern Time, June 6th, 2020.
And a backup fax just to prove that it's you.
That's right. Yeah. If you could, maybe some DNA samples or something. Just go watch the video. Ignore his instructions. Comment, Facebook message, or email. And if you are commenting, please answer all the questions in one comment. Don't send 4 or 5 different comments. That's asinine. Okay. So we do have some questions here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put them out there. They're on the video as well. So if you want to ignore me and go watch the video, you can.
You choose who you want to ignore.
That's right.
It's up
Again,
to you.
Great
AJ,
prizes.
Jesse.
That's right. You choose who you want to ignore. First place, again, $500 gift card to a local business of your choice, which is the best prize.
Pretty great.
Second place, $250 GC. Third place, $100 GC. Business of your choice, each of those. So that's very, very cool. First question. What is the percentage of people that have a disability in the Northwest Territories? Is it under 5%, 8%, 16%, or over 22%? There you go. Second question. What percentage of Canadians identify with mental health-related disability? Less than 2%, 4%, 7%, or over 10%. When was the NWD Disabilities Council incorporated? 1978, 1981, 1990, or 1998? And according to the 2015 Disability Services Survey from the NWD Disabilities Council, what percentage of the respondents stated that they believed that they had been refused an interview, job, or promotion because the employer was uneducated about or biased against people living with disability? 10%, 18%, 26%, 35%. Okay? So that's those are the questions.
Mm-hmm.
You can answer those on the Facebook page, send us an email, or send us a Facebook message as well. NWT Disabilities Council, our sponsors today. Denise Mckee going to join us in just a few minutes. And there it is.
I'm going to throw out a hint.
You're going to throw out a hint?
Yes.
Okay.
So 3 of the 4 questions are percentage questions.
Yes.
Like the answers are all percentages. Aim high. Aim high on those percentages. That's all I'm going to give you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. for whatever reason, that seems like an In the Line of Fire reference to me. Did you ever see that movie?
No.
1993.
Okay.
In the Line of Fire.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood, John Malkovich, Rene Russo.
Whoa.
Yeah. John Malkovich plays an ex-CIA wet boy or assassin
Oh.
who threatens to kill the president.
Wet boy.
Yeah. Yeah, he does
I've never heard that term
Wet
before.
work is like blood work.
Oh, wow.
So
right.
he threatens to kill the president.
That's not very nice.
Clint Eastwood, an aging Secret Service member, mostly on desk work, but then gets reassigned to the
Clint
travel.
Eastwood's been playing an aging character.
Yeah, for 40 years. You're too old. You're too.
They're still telling him that at age 89.
That's right.
Clint, you're
Well,
too old.
McGonagall, you can't protect the president anymore. You're too old.
Hey.
I'm trying to protect the president here. So he gets reassigned to this on active duty, like in the field. He can barely keep up because he's so old. But his big hook is that he was one of the guys in the Secret Service on the day JFK was shot.
Oh,
So that's what Malkovich
pretty
zeroes in on to really rile him up.
Ah.
So he's like in his 60s,
Yeah.
trying to like run alongside the car and all that stuff, and
Right.
he can't do it. So it's a game. Like nobody believes that this person. Like, they believe this person is a threat, but they don't know who he is. Horrigan, played by Clint Eastwood. Horrigan, McGonagall. It's right there.
Right. Okay.
He figures out who it is and tries to tell them this is who it is, and he makes some mistakes along the way because of his age. Can't keep up.
Yeah.
He gets a little confused sometimes.
probably
Forgets where he is.
Rough and tumble, like old school guy, too.
Yeah, a
right?
little old
I mean,
school guy.
They make mistakes.
That's right. He punches out a bellboy in a hotel.
Yeah, you can't
and
do
he's
that.
like, he gets reassigned. You're off the case, Horrigan. You're off the case. And he says, you're off your case, Mr. President. And anyway, in the end,
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I guess it means he gets results.
That's right.
Stupid chief.
Stupid president.
Anyway.
So in the end, though, he comes up, and they're in an elevator that's darkened out, and it's surrounded by snipers, but they can't see.
The snipers can't see.
Snipers can't see inside, so they can't shoot because they might hit Horrigan,
Right.
McGonagall.
Yeah.
And so he hides his little mic piece because he's got it in his hand connected to his ear. Old school technology.
Yep.
And he says, aim high.
Oh.
But he says it to Malkovich. Malkovich is like, what do you mean aim high, or whatever he says. And then he sees that he's got his microphone thing. He goes, you bastard! And then they start shooting. They don't hit him. But then he throws him out of the elevator. So that's In the Line of Fire.
Sounds great.
1993, as directed by Wolfgang Peterson.
Huh.
It's a great movie.
It sounds pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clint Eastwood has been playing an aging character for 40 years.
Anyway, you really ran with that hint.
I really did. Hey, look, if you guys are still at home looking for a movie to watch, you run through all your Netflix stuff, look up In the Line of Fire, 1993, starring Clint Eastwood and John Malkovich and Rene Russo. And, of course, Clint Eastwood hooks up with Rene Russo.
Well, of course.
And she's like 20 years his junior.
Yeah, well.
That's Hollywood for you.
He's just getting old at that point.
That's right.
He's not.
Yeah. He's aged. He's aged like a fine wine.
I ain't dead yet.
He says something like that in the show.
It's so
great.
easy to do a Clint Eastwood impression. You just gotta grit your teeth.
I can't get this poop out.
All right, so go to the Cabin Radio Facebook page.
That's right. Answer the
watch
question.
the video. And aim high.
I
That's
just
the hint.
snorted.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
The NWT Disabilities Council is the sponsor for the show this morning, and it is National Accessibility Week here in Canada until May 31st through June 6th, so ending tomorrow. But some great initiatives taking place this week, and I wanted to put this out here. This is what they gave us, and I wanted to share it with you guys. The term disability means a dynamic lived experience or restricted or limited participation in life that results from the interaction of an individual's bodily impairment and their physical and social environment. The NWT Disabilities Council is here to educate, advocate, and support the self-determination of all individuals with disabilities. For more information, check out www.nwtdc.net. Now, they put on some wonderful programs, and of course, because of everything that's been going on, some of those programs have been halted or reworked. And to talk about that this morning, we have Director of Programs for the NWT Disabilities Council, Alanis Mckee. I've been saying Denise Mckee all morning like a bumbling idiot, but here's Alanis. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us. And like I said before, I will humbly take Denise's place this morning.
Nah, no problem. Thank you so much for understanding my ineptitude. Alanis, again, thanks for joining us this morning. We've got a great contest on. Thank you so much for putting this on. But as well, I wanted to talk to you about, you're the Director of Programs. What has the last 2 months meant to the NWT Disabilities Council when it comes to their programming?
Yeah, no, and I mean, as everyone has felt in their life, I think a very sudden interruption. It was something that for slightly prior to the pandemic being declared is something that we did anticipate, and we worked very closely with our government partners to come up with plans that would ensure that we would be able to seamlessly continue, especially our core services in communities. So the council is employing people in every region of the territory. We provide direct support both in Yellowknife and in outlying communities. And fortunately, with a lot of flexibility and innovation, both on the part of our staff, our really competent staff and leadership, but also the families and the people that we support, that flexibility, we've been able to continue those services, but in a really modified way. So we've been able to, translate our early childhood intervention program to remote sessions, which has been really interesting. And like, for an example, that program really now is teaching us what are some more options for providing service in communities outside Yellowknife, because traditionally we've only done so for early childhood intervention in Yellowknife. But now the pandemic being here has really shown us the potential for doing so in a remote fashion and working directly with families using technology, with dropping different sensory tools and things over to the house and working for children's needs that way. So in that respect, we've actually been learning a lot from this experience. And then obviously in Yellowknife, our homelessness supports have been continuing in full fashion. We've had to modify and provide a lot of changes in the center to meet social distancing requirements, and to meet the needs of our staff and service users. But we really have seen the community come together to support us in that. We've had De Beers, Canadian Tire come and provide us PPE, different donations, and really a lot of resilience from the community that we're supporting and from our staff to ensure that the most vulnerable continue to have their needs met in a way that's safe throughout this pandemic. So yeah, we've been learning a lot and changing on almost a daily basis, but we're hoping that things are starting to be more constant now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to ask you about that. I mean, obviously we've all kind of adapted, day to day. For a while there, it seemed everything was changing day to day. But as you said, things are kind of spacing out now. They're kind of, as the restrictions loosen, as we've gone further and further without any cases, things have kind of, settled down a little bit. You're allowed to slow down and maybe adjust those things a little bit slower. When it first started, just kind of, everybody was kind of scrambling. And now we know that not everybody's disability is different. So how much that adaptation in that first couple of weeks, how strenuous was that?
I think that any NGO and anyone in the GNWT that was working with like our population, people with disabilities and the homeless population can say that was a really urgent moment that required everybody to be changing on honestly an hourly basis. But we did see a lot of organizations come together in a way that was really productive largely, and that really brought forward, I think, the best out of a lot of our staff and leadership on all ends, and came up with some really innovative approaches. Our 30-day isolation was kind of a whirlwind approach to implementing a flexible alcohol distribution program. We came up with it very quickly. And it's something that in a lot of ways has really made people put the gas on moving forward on some of these ideas. And in a way I think has actually been really beneficial. So, I mean, we put that together with the support of our partners, and we saw some really amazing things come out of that. People really stabilizing, getting a lot healthier, connecting back with their families, limiting their alcohol and drug consumption if that was what they chose to do. So we're learning a lot from the experience, but it was definitely changing very rapidly, and we had a lot of 12-hour days. And I think that our staff really came together in that moment and showed like the best of our organization and our community. But yeah, it was really difficult for sure.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's wonderful to hear when operations such as yours is like you're speaking with a lot of confidence, which is very confidence inspiring that you made it through this, not made it through completely, but like you found that you were adapting and more ideas were coming out of this, and like you said, pushing some of these things further, because something like this happens, it highlights these things that much more. It highlights these issues that we have that much more. Accessibility not only for people with disabilities, but people with accessibility to healthcare and things like that. So that's nice. That's good to hear. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes something like this to push these initiatives forward. And but I mean, pushing them forward in any way is a good thing to do. I wanted to ask you, we were talking about phase 2 a little earlier on. We're heading into phase 2, hopefully June 12th, if everything goes to plan. How are the loosening of restrictions? It must be making everything just a little bit. You can breathe a little bit more now. What is phase 2 going to mean for you and for the programs going forward?
I think that every day that we're in the pandemic, we learn more how to adapt to it, and it's becoming almost our new normal.
Yes.
But I think that as an organization, from the highest level, from the board, the executive director, senior management, we really do understand that because of the population we serve across the lifespan with increased vulnerabilities due to their disability, we really do want to take the most precautious approach to moving forward into phase 2. So a lot of what we put forward in phase 1 will be continuing until the virus is stabilized more. We have either an effective treatment or a vaccine for it. So I mean, we're going to really maintain a lot of what we've had, but in this time that is stable, where we don't have active cases, we don't have community transmission, we're really pausing to think about how can we be very proactive to prepare in case there is a second wave. So implementing a lot of measures now when it's a bit calmer to get people into routines, get it to be almost second nature to them, so that we're very well prepared in the case that this does resurface again in the fall, which is what a lot of people are thinking may happen. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would say that we're moving forward cautiously, but yeah, it's becoming more comfortable. It's becoming something that we can do and less of a very urgent, fast-paced approach, which was happening at the beginning, because now we do have some infrastructure in place. But yeah, I think that definitely our move forward is cautious but optimistic about what could be happening in the fall, and hopefully there is no second wave, but we'll be well prepared regardless.
Yes. Absolutely, and that's again, confidence inspiring to hear. This week was National Accessibility Week. Obviously, there were probably some programs and some things in place that were not able to do, but you moved a lot of things online, you were saying. So what was going on this week that you can tell us about?
So, yeah, definitely. I think that the most visible thing that we're missing this year is our Grand Prix.
Yes.
That pretty much the cornerstone of what we've been doing over the last few years. So, I mean, we're very much looking forward to hopefully doing that again in 2021. But this year, we've largely just been on social media, sharing information. And we've been really working as an organization now that we have our core services in place and adapted and operating in all regions of the territory, is looking at different ways that we can put things virtually for the wider community. People with disabilities, we have been hearing a lot, continue to face increased barriers in this pandemic, including an immense amount of isolation. The interruption to services and just public spaces for anyone in society is really difficult, but for people with disabilities who rely on other people coming into their homes or into their lives to support their daily needs, this is even more pronounced. So we're trying to think of ways creatively that we can put virtual programming out to the communities to try and, create a social circle, things like that. So those are still in the works. And that's kind of what we've been working on this week, but also the social media. The questions to all of the trivia were just posted in the last 24 hours.
Yes.
So if people go like our Facebook page, they'll see the posts come up with the answers. So following us there really also gives like a good indication of things that we're working on. But yeah, we're learning a lot about doing things over the internet. We're all becoming Zoom experts and how try and use that to connect to people in the best way we can during this really challenging time.
Absolutely. It sounds like obviously it's been a challenge, but it sounds like you guys have risen to the occasion, which is wonderful to hear. I wanted to talk to you about the questions that you did post, and you said that the answers are kind of coming as you're kind of posting them on social media. The first question: what percentage of people that what is the percentage of people that have a disability in the Northwest Territories? I'm going to give away this answer because I was surprised by it. I feel like I shouldn't have been surprised by it, but I was. Over 22% of people in the NWT have a disability. That's incredible. That's upwards of 10,000 people. I'm not sure how many people either are aware of that or maybe aware of the breadth of definition of what a disability is. So that was some new information for me, and that kind of took me aback a little bit. So I mean that's a lot of people affected by not having access to programs, not having access to what you're talking about. That is an immense job. That's all I wanted to say. That's an immense job, and you seem to be doing well. I mean, you seem to be adapting well. Tell us a little bit about. I mean, that's a quarter of the territory. Yeah, and
I think that shock that you're feeling is not unusual because it really comes down to how you define disability, how we understand it. I think that in a lot of the population, there still is this perception, a very narrow understanding of what a visible disability is, what you would consider to be, and also even how people identify if their condition is a disability or not. There's a couple of reasons why that number we have. One is actually that in Canada, due to like a lot of legacy of colonialism, poverty, things like that, Indigenous people actually experience disability at a rate 2 times the non-Indigenous population. And because we have about 51% of our population that self-identify as Indigenous, the rate there really impacts our overall population. And those are things that are a lot of complex social issues that stem directly from colonial violence that really impact people's lives. So chronic illnesses, mental health conditions, addictions, those are all things that we consider to be disability that are experienced widely across the territory amongst all people, but especially in those living in those social situations and under those circumstances. We also really work closely trying to provide education to expanding people's understanding about what disability is. It's not just somebody in a wheelchair. It's people that live with anxiety. It's people that live with trauma, different mental health conditions, with chronic illnesses that are all touched by different experiences in their bodies and minds that impact how they interact with the world and how they can access public services, employment, recreation, and all aspects of community participation. So it's really something that we move forward to try and educate the population on how diverse these experiences are, and to really listen to what people are experiencing and understanding where they're coming from. We can take that identity for what it is, and then just work with supporting people and understanding just like how different each person with a disability is.
Absolutely. And like you said, you mentioned visible disabilities versus non-visible disabilities, and how we're coming to just understand more, especially things like trauma and within the community, the Indigenous community here, generational trauma and PTSD and things like this. We're starting to kind of the mainstream is starting to really understand these things, and you guys are a part of that work. So that's an incredible thing. So thank you very much for your work. And thank you so much for joining us this morning. I did want to mention once again, I mentioned this earlier in the show, these prizes are amazing. So $500 to a business of your choice, first prize, $250 to a business of your choice for second, and third prize is a $100 gift certificate to a business of your choice. I love that prize. So that's awesome.
Support local. That's what we're trying to do with the gift. is, buy from the smaller businesses in town that are really struggling right now and keep them afloat during this really difficult time. So, please don't choose a large chain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Alanis, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we'll look forward to hearing from you soon. And, of course, we'll talk to you guys again very soon, and we'll find out who won this contest, and we'll announce that a little later on. Thanks so much again for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. Alanis Mckee, Director of Programs for the NWT Disabilities Council. It is National Accessibility Week here in Canada, so check out that information as well. You can find links to that at nwtdc.net. Send in your answers, Facebook message, email, mailbox at cabinradio.ca, or just comment under the post, and you could win some of those gift certificates to a business of your choice, which is pretty awesome.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Being part of and I think we brought this up before, but being part of a international conglomerate media group owned by the Chinese, we get a lot of spam email. We really do. Once you open yourself up there and you put yourself out to a lot of different things, you put and just being a media station at all.
Yeah.
You get added to a bunch of email lists.
Yeah.
Spam or otherwise. People actually, writing in, asking for legitimate questions or legitimate queries about advertising and things like that. And then you get, bots.
Usually they contain the initials SEO, which stands for Search Engine Optimization, because nobody can find us according to 95% of these emails.
We're going to, we'll up your percentage on Google, blah, blah, blah. There's so many of these companies.
Yes.
And this is the problem. Here's one of the problems with capitalism, is that, how many search engine optimizers do you need? It's like this is a market that is now flooded with just hundreds of companies who are like, listen, if you want to be number one in Google, certainly there's one place that could probably do that can handle all of that. Maybe two, maybe three, maybe four. Certainly not 100.
Yes.
Certainly not the hundreds of emails that we get all the time saying hey, if you want to be optimizing your search engine, you mean Google like this? There's no other search engine.
Bing.
No, we've gotten some for Bing, and it's it'll immediately delete. I don't want to be number one on Bing. What the hell is Bing anyway? It's like having Google Plus instead of Facebook.
How about Ask.com?
That's right.
Where's we be number one on Ask.com?
Formerly Ask Jeeves.
They can't find us.
That's right.
Here's the thing about that, Jesse.
What's the other one? Lycos. Lycos was the first one.
I don't have data to back this up, but I would wager about 93% of those emails are not legitimate companies. I know.
Well, I don't know.
It's
this
one might not actually be a capitalism problem.
What I mean by that is that there's a very this is a niche market. Obviously, everybody wants to be on the internet. Everyone is on the internet. Whatever. Everybody wants to have their website kind of pop up. But what the problem with this is that this is a market that can be handled probably by a few small groups.
Yes.
And it just gets inundated with someone people just trying to make a little bit of money quickly so they can do something else or whatever.
Yeah. Quite frankly, if Cabin Radio doesn't come up number one in Philadelphia,
that's right.
I'm kind of okay with that.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jessica Wang. We love you. We do not care for Philadelphia.
I mean, Philadelphia's fine.
I like your cheesesteaks.
Our news just isn't particularly relevant to what's happening in Philadelphia.
You never know.
Well, maybe we could get a journalism down there.
We'll get a stick to sports from Philadelphia.
A couple more Google grants.
There we go.
Get that search engine optimization up, and who knows?
So this one seems almost legitimate. It's got a real email address, right?
Yeah. I mean, they all have real email
That's
addresses.
Right. Tony Durant 404 at gmail.com.
Yes. Tony Durant, which, of course, it just sounds like a center fielder for the Boston Red Sox.
That's right. From 1976 to 1982, Tony Durant.
Yeah. So we would have thought that by now we had most of these flagged as spam.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, one still sneaks through the filters.
Well, I mean, because there's a billion different emails out there, and you can just select whatever. I'm sure someone's gotten an email from Tony Durant 405.
That probably, yeah. So Tony Durant 404 at gmail.com emailed us. No subject.
Nope.
Dear friend.
Dear friend.
I am Tony Durant.
Oh, wow. The Tony Durant?
Yeah. The very same.
Okay.
I work as a procurement assistant. Do you know what that is, Jesse?
I think. So there's a main person who does procurement.
A procurement professional.
That's right. And this guy just kind of, he's there in the cut. in the nooks and crannies of all the procurement.
He's a procurement apprentice.
That's right.
I looked it up because I had no idea. A procurement assistant helps a procurement professional to ensure that a business has a constant supply of materials or equipment. They work primarily in an administrative capacity, doing tasks such as scheduling material purchases and deliveries and verifying current inventory. Somewhat important for context.
This is scintillating radio.
I am Tony Durant. I work as a procurement assistant. I got your contact details in my search for a reliable and neutral company.
Let it be known, we are not neutral. We are biased. We're not going to say which way, but we are biased.
Or individual to partner with me in area of investment.
Yes.
I need your assistance to manage investment fund, just one,
Yep.
in a profitable business in your region. I love that part.
Yeah.
A profitable business in your region needs your investment.
Which region is that?
With a good annual return on investment. Not great, but a good annual return on investment. In brackets, AROI.
Yes.
I know this mail might come to you as a surprise because we neither know each other nor have ever met, but please accept it with an open and positive mind.
No.
Fine. Details of investment and funding will be furnished to you when your response, which will also facilitate a face-to-face meeting with the investors.
What investors? What's going on right now?
The investors are the ones who need us.
Well, assistant to manage an investment fund in a profitable business.
Yes.
In your region.
We are
Not
one of the
We're
investors?
not a profitable business.
Thank you. Yours sincerely, Mr. Tony Durant.
Well, that one almost seems real. I don't know if it's spam or if it's written by someone who's whose English is not their first language.
Should we reply and facilitate a face-to-face meeting with the investors?
If we could meet who are these investors, Mr. Durant? Please provide a list of your investors for the region, and we will be happy to meet you with an open mind, but probably not an open wallet at this point.
And probably not really face-to-face.
No, we've never met, nor have we. What is it? We've neither met. We don't know you, and we've not met.
But he's Tony Durant, so I don't. There's not really much to question there. We know who he is now.
Yeah, that's right. We know who he is.
Okay, well, we can respond. Perhaps find out who these investors are. I don't know why. I just have to say it with a nefarious tone of voice.
Well, he is Tony Durant.
He is.
He's the Tony Durant. So anyway, that's just a little splice of our email to you guys. So those are funny.
So if Tony's real, maybe a mutual friend could facilitate a face-to-face meeting with us and the investors.
If anyone out there knows Tony Durant, top search in Facebook, he works at Bent's Builders Merchants. And that's in Gloucestershire. So he's an Englishman.
Number 24 in the field, number 1 in your hearts. Tony Durant.
Tony Durant from Gloucestershire. No, wait, Gloucestershire. Is that England or is that Boston?
It could be either. Could be both. Yeah, really.
That's right. Well, he looks like a nice guy.
Yeah.
He actually looks like H. John Benjamin, which is funny.
Okay.
So there you go. You know H. John Benjamin.
Yeah, the
Bob
archer.
An archer. Yeah,
right.
He looks like that guy.
You can't not trust that guy.
That's true. All right. Well, that's going to do it for Mornings at the Cabin as we read another email. That's a sparse Friday morning. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great weekend. Keep plugging along. Keep vigilant. We want to get to phase 2 by June 12th. We would like to do that.
And answer those questions if you haven't done it yet.
Absolutely.
Check out the video with AJ, Cabin Radio Facebook page. Ignore his instructions.
Ignore them completely.
Just answer the questions.
That's right. All you got to do is, and then put them in the comments. What you're going to want to do, pull down your settings. Okay. Now, click on settings. No. Go back one. Click on home. Okay. Now, click next to, you see the bell? Okay. Next to that is a question mark. Okay. Go to the arrow. It points down. Click on the arrow. No, wait. No.
Skip past all that.
Yeah. Go to the search thing. Cabin Radio NWT. Okay. Now click on the video. No, not the one with AJ. Okay, yeah, no. Sorry, not Cabin Radio. Go to Mornings at the Cabin. Is it Mornings at the Cabin or Cabin Radio? Am I making this too complicated?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, fine. You know what? just watch the video, listen to the questions, answer the questions, put them in the Facebook message, mailbox at cabinradio.ca, or put them in the comments. And you could win a $500 gift certificate to the business of your choice is the first prize. Second prize, $250 gift certificate to the business of your choice. Third prize, $100 gift certificate to the business of your choice. Big thanks to the NWT Disabilities Council for their sponsorship this morning and for all the work that they're doing as outlined by Alanis Mckee a little earlier on. Big thanks to her for joining us as well. Have yourselves a good weekend. Be nice to each other or something. I don't know.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.